Hi, welcome to Laura's View and Tarot 2. I'm really glad you're here. Today's date is Thursday, January 19th, 2023. And while I'm smiling, I don't really have a humorous topic tonight, just one that piqued my curiosity and I thought you might find interesting too. And I was waiting to ask the tarot cards about it until we connected in this video. So here's what I'm talking about. My last video was about the resignation of Jacinda Ardern in New Zealand. Within less than a day of that, another country has had a resignation. Let me show you what I'm talking about. The president of Vietnam is resigning. Now, he was involved and embroiled in a COVID-19 bribery scandal. And think about, we know there's a lot more than just the Vietnam president that took bribery to promote the jab scandal, the pandemic, and everything else. And I hope they all end up facing some consequences for that. Now, I don't think I've got very many or any regular viewers from Vietnam, but every country matters. And it is interesting to note here over in the comments that I've got, and I will have a link to this Facebook post that's on my page so you can click the links and take a look yourself at what I found. Things that make you go, why? Because his resignation coincides with Russia establishing currency exchange rates with the ruble for Vietnam and New Zealand, among others. So that's what got my curiosity going. So I was on a little bit of a financial rabbit trail. We've talked in the past about how the BRICS nations are getting stronger. All their currencies are gold-backed. More countries by the day are signing on and leaving the G7, which is, the United States, Canada, the UK, countries like that in the dust, okay? And it's only a matter of time until the entire world, one way or the other, is on asset-backed currency. That's a Laura's View thing, but I think it's a pretty logical view. So I wanted to ask the cards tonight, is there any relation, the universal no, is there any relation to the ruble now having a new established currency exchange rate with New Zealand and Vietnam and these two resignations? So is there we know there's monetary tie-ins in this form, but is there one involving currencies and exchange and just the global monetary system? Let's find out. The days when the G7 could pressure other countries into going along with whatever they chose to, however they chose to do business is long gone. I see BRICS as a rising star. So we're asking the universe, is there any correlation between the ruble being establishing a currency rate with New Zealand and Vietnam and those prime ministers or prime minister and president resigning as that happens? And is there other information the universe wants us to know? There may not be a correlation, but the universe will tell us. I'm going to turn the whole deck over, which should show you that I don't get them. Okay, we have the Four of Wands, the Nine of Pentacles, the Emperor. It's already interesting. Five of Swords, Seven of Wands, Ten of Wands, and the Lovers. The Lovers keep showing up when it talks about restoration and our world headed in the right direction. I love seeing the Lovers card show up. Okay, so our question was indicated by the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is a beautiful card that talks about stability and teamwork and just attainment. In personal reads, it can signify possibly an upcoming marriage or formalizing of relationship. But in a political or geopolitical question like this, it's talking more about the teamwork aspect of the card, the stability. Okay, so by the ruble now having an exchange rate that's set with both Vietnam and New Zealand, that's providing that financial stability to their currency situation that is going to be of great benefit to those people there. The Nine of Pentacles is a card of independence and success. So I don't get that there was a direct correlation, but it is related. It's related to the well-being of those countries, getting rid of some systemic dysfunction and moving forward in the right direction. Recent past, we have the Emperor card here showing up that, yes, this is important. Like I said, it may not be the reason behind both of those resignations, but it's definitely a big component of it. The Emperor's overseeing some of these changes. He's my ultimate white hat card, alliance card. So these changes that are happening, the individuals involved, the president of Vietnam, the prime minister of New Zealand, their hands were forced. Okay, they may have wanted to stay in power. They may have thought that they had their backsides covered better than it turned out that they are. We have for the current situation, we have the Five of Swords. Now, this is a card of victory, a strategic type of victory. So this is all part of the strategy to slowly, now I hate to keep saying wake people up, but to make people aware that there's a need for systemic changes and that they're happening. And these two players in this card that get to walk away, as long as they don't turn around and try some shenanigans, he's watching them retreat. And think about that. We've had the two resignations. Those people are going away from the public eye. And if they do as they've been told and instructed, they'll be allowed to retreat in the way that's been agreed to. Okay, now moving ahead, we have the Seven of Wands. Now he's got the high ground. These are events happening. They're happening from a place of determination. So we've got the Emperor that's kind of overseeing some of these changes. And there's strategic wins going on without a lot of collateral damage whenever possible. And it's happening with some great determination. That card, that guy is totally determined. And he's on the high ground. So even though he seems to be outnumbered, his odds are really good. Okay, especially when you look at what's on either side of him. Okay, on the 10 here, the 10 of Wands on this side, that means that we're at the end of something. So those two countries especially are at the end of having quite as much corruption and visible shenanigans being allowed and tolerated. Okay, now they may get placeholders that don't seem to be much of an improvement, but they are just temporary placeholders, as are so many of our puppet masters in countries across the globe. So hopefully they won't, they'll be on a tight leash, so they make troubling noises and what have you, but they don't really continue the damage and harm that their predecessors did. Reassuring us on that end is the outlook card of the Lovers. Okay, now with the Lovers card, it's a beautiful card. Like I said, it keeps showing up when it talks about restoration and some healing, and just that it's cosmic in nature. We've got the sun up here, just shining healing light, and these humans are very vulnerable, but they're not in danger with their vulnerable. They're protected and guided, as are we. I truly believe that we have divine protection and guidance going on, making my positive spiel night after night one I truly believe. Okay, we have, for a little further information, we have the Two of Cups signaling an agreement. So we have teamwork and agreement going on here. Okay, so a lot of this is unfolding according to plan. Queen of Swords is showing up, signifying justice, really strong here. with the landing on the Emperor and the Nine of Pentacles. Okay, so she's going to see us through and make sure that the clear thinking and just a very objective view is maintained. Okay, so let's recap. Is there a direct correlation between the ruble and those two resignations? Not direct, but it does impact it because money is power. And quite honestly, money that is asset-backed is going to always be stronger than fiat dollars, always. And I think we're going to see more and more countries joining the BRICS and having that asset-backed currency. And the days of, like I said, the G7 saber rattling and threatening and having clout are rapidly coming to an end. In the meantime, well, we lived through that. Our fiat dollars are inflated, terribly inflated. It's amusing to me. This is funny, but it's ironic funny that when we're told how minimal the inflation rate is, they've decided not to factor in fuel and energy and food in how they figure out the inflation rate. What do they do it on? Canoe paddles and roller skates? I don't know. But they ought to be really looking at the inflation rate from things people have to spend for their everyday lives to continue. And that is fuel for vehicles when walking isn't possible and food. So yeah, that game playing with numbers, I don't like it. And hopefully we're coming to a place where we'll have a lot more credibility in statistics and a lot more transparency in how our world works and in how it used to work. Because if we don't understand where we come from, we won't appreciate where we are and avoid it going forward. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for your time. I do appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. And all of you that stick with me as I try to find affordable things to make videos for you. Now I've got two little inexpensive webcams hooked up to my inexpensive laptop, and it's going okay. It is. It's not ideal, but it's going okay. So thank you for sticking with me. Like I've always said, this is a home production. But on the plus side of that, sometimes we get some furry co-hosts helping us. Now, right now, I'm making this video a little later, and they're both asleep on my bed. So they didn't join us, but they could have. They might have. And I'm sure at some point in another video, they will. Until next time, I send you love and light. Good night.